Friday and welcome back to Royalty Soaps. Today is the launch day for the Way Home collection, and so if you're interested in any of the soaps that you see here, stay till the end and I'll tell you more about them, and you can purchase them until they are out of stock. I will probably not be restocking any of these designs, so once they're gone, they're gone. Once again, this collection is inspired by Scandinavian winters, sort of the contrast between the cold, blustery, snowy outdoors and the warm, comforting inside of a home. Today's soap is a frosted soap. I know how much you guys love a frosted soap. It's a mix of a lot of beautiful blues and whites, and the smell is really fresh. It's one of those scents that actually smells cold. And you probably will recognize that the design is pretty similar. I added a few tweaks to the Winter Wonderland soaps that I have made in the past. I do use a similar fragrance, but I've given it a bit of a kick. Anyway, I hope you like it, and without further ado, let's make some soap. Are you guys ready for a Royalty Soaps classic? I know you are. Let's get some bedazzling done with this soap frosting. Before we jump into that though, I do want to add some things to our base oils. We're going to start with a little bit of kale and clay. This just adds a little extra pizzazz to our cold process soap. Adds a little slip to the bar. Kale and clay has a lot of beneficial attributes for your skin. Going to add in some citric acid, and I'm adding in some sodium lactate. Sodium lactate is a salt derivative. It helps harden up our cold process soap. Now I'm going to blend all of this until well incorporated with an immersion blender. I had someone recently ask, is this the same sort of immersion blender that you would make soup with? The answer is yes, it is. It is exactly that type of immersion blender. You buy it normally for kitchen use, but we can use it for soap making as well. And no, if you use this for soap making one time, you shouldn't use it again in your kitchen, just for safety's sake. All right, let's blend it up. Caleb had to bring this stick blender up for me from his special stash, and it is super noisy. Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to me, a new stick blender. Now we're going to blend this up on low until just past emulsion. Awesome sauce. This looks really good. Now, the oils featured here, you guys have heard me say it a million times, but if this is your first time watching the YouTube channel, I have my recipe listed in the description box below. I have sold over 100,000 bars with this recipe. People really love it. It's super gentle on the skin, cleanses your skin without stripping, and will last a long time because it is a really hard bar of soap. All right, let's go ahead and add in our color. We're going to add in a little bit of white, a little bit of a very aqua blue, and a much stronger blue as well. For those of y'all who purchased the Winter Wonderland soap in the past, this is an updated version of that soap, including an updated fragrance. I will leave the fragrance notes on the screen now. This is an incredibly fresh fragrance, so it's kind of the perfect soap if you don't know what to get somebody. I'm gonna blend this up. All right, went ahead and added my fragrance oil. This smells so good. Like I said, just a little upgrade, a little update from our last fragrance that we used. I felt like that one was a little bit underwhelming. I wanted the fragrance to smell a little bit colder, if that makes any sense. Think of Siberian fir, think of the smell of snow. That's what I mean when I say cold. Obviously, a fragrance oil isn't hot or cold, but certain fragrances make us feel cold, like eucalyptus. All right, let's pour. Okay, I'm going to start by pouring in some of our blue base color here. Just one stripe will do us, I think. Then we're going to pour in some of our white, doing sort of a drop swirl here, trying to mimic snow or icicles. Same thing with our blue. And I am trying to pour this lighter blue onto the white because that's going to make a really pretty design. All right, go in with our base blue again. I think I'm going to be able to get about 3 passes passes with this batch. The fragrance oil is performing beautifully. All right, last pass with our blue here, trying to pour from up high. Well, I'm gonna be so for real with you guys. This was super messy. Like, I am not normally this messy of a soap maker, but I really pushed the boundaries this time. Really digging these blues though. I think it turned out really well. So now all I have to do is mix up our soap frosting. And for all of you guys that have messaged customer service recently, let me just say, we are planning to restock the Soap Frosting Club. It's been a long time coming. Since 2020, and all the things that happened there has been a price increase in a lot of the raw materials, equipment, and items in that Soap Frosting Club. So we have been looking for new suppliers. We are going to be able to re-offer that product, but there is going to have to be a price increase just because, again, the cost of materials due to tariffs, etc., has gone up so substantially. If we didn't increase the price, we would no longer be able to offer that to you guys. So you can be looking for it for the first quarter in 2026, and of course I will let you guys know once it has been restocked via our email list and on Instagram for those of y'all who really want to make some soap frosting. So let's go ahead and blend that up. Right, just gonna pour in my light water solution. And yes, my soap frosting is a different recipe than my classic bubbles recipe. Go ahead and blend it up. All right, I'm gonna add a little bit of white and blend that up. I think this is the perfect color for our soap frosting. We're actually going to end up mixing these together to make sort of an icy, snowy peak. But before I can do that, I do have to let my soap frosting set up a little bit more. All right, let's get to piping. So as you can see, it looks a little bit like Colgate toothpaste. I'm just gonna be so for real, but I promise it won't once it's cut. So I put a little bit of our blue on the very edges, the very outside of the bag, and then I filled the middle with some white. Now, this isn't going to be super even all the way down, but when it's cut, it is going to give a bit more of an appearance of the blue being on the outer edge and the white being on the middle, which of course is the whole point. I do have 3 embeds to put on each bar today, and we have some glitter. Like I said, a really big throwback to kind of OG royalty soaps days. Winter has been treating me so well. I have been moving my body, fueling it with really delicious holiday food, but also lots of good for me proteins. I've been using my Ninja Creamy to make protein creamies, kind of like a protein ice cream or a protein shake. And oh my gosh, what a game changer for those of us who need a little sweet treat at night. I also have a goal of creating a mood board for next year. I really want to do a mood board. Thanksgiving was a hoot and a half. For those of y'all who want to see pictures, they are up on my Instagram. Gotta put this last little dollop on top. All right, let's take a look at what I have for embeds. First, we have some little icy snow dollops to put on top. Super cute little mini gumballs. I have 2 different shades of this blue, and both of them are exquisite. Recently, I've had some new people come to the page, and they have asked me, what are the embeds that I place on the top of the soap made of? There has been a rising trend of putting plastic items on top of a soap bar instead of crafting with melt and pour. And because there's a lot of people who don't know who I am and maybe like watch one viral soap video and then come across one of my shorts, that's a pretty common question now. Occasionally, I do add gemstones or rocks like sodalite, amethyst, quartz, things of that nature. I have also added paper straws in the past. Probably won't be doing that much anymore. Presents a lot of problems with packaging, and also the customer customer has to remove it before they can use the bar, which leaves a big hole in the top of the bar. So I use that technique very sparingly. I do add biodegradable plastic-free glitter on top, but I will not be switching to plastic toys or trinkets. Those little trinkets most people just throw away, and that extra plastic just ends up in a landfill, and most of the time those plastic things are purchased. If I'm going to support a supplier who makes tiny objects, I would rather shop small than buying them in bulk on Temu or something like that. So I will not be switching to using those items. They can be more detailed, and I think that's why a lot of people like to use them, because they're way faster to just buy, like, I don't know, a gingerbread man or like a little love heart or something like that, and then just placing it on top, because then you don't have to paint anything, you don't have to pour anything. But my goal for people is to keep the gemstone if they have that, and then for the entire bar of soap to be a consumable good. I don't want people to be left with tiny bits of plastic they have to throw away. Here are my little snowflakes. These are also made with melt and pour soap. And no, I don't buy these. I do make all of them in-house. We make tens of thousands of embeds every single year. This is something that sort of sets our company apart a little bit. It's a lot of molds, it's a lot of time, but I think overall, if you're going to do a frosted top soap, it's the little details that really add up and really matter. Last little embed here, I'm going to check all those bars to make sure nobody got left out. Nope, it looks really good. So now we're going to add a little bit of glitter. This is from the Good Glitter. I'm going to open this up so that you can see it because it's really pretty. It's honestly the perfect glitter blend. Super gorgeous. Absolutely love it. All plastic-free glitter. This is called Glacier Glitz. I do have a shoppable code with the Good Glitter. I will leave it on screen for you now. This is what we use for craft projects, any sort of bath and beauty items that we want a little bit more glitz and glam. We love the Good Glitter. Just gonna add a fair amount onto each bar. We really do want this to be sparkly. All right, perfect. Okay, put the lid on that and dust any little remnants off of my fingers, and that is it. Our winter garden soap is complete. I absolutely love the way this looks. I'll bring you guys in for a close-up so that you can see all the details of those snowflakes and the glitter up close. I'm gonna let this sit for 18 to 24 hours, and then I will come back tomorrow and we will take a look at the inside after this quick commercial break. Look at how pretty this soap is the next day. I'm so pleased. It's come out of the mold beautifully. There might even be a reflection on this. It's so smooth. Do you see that? I'll try to bobble it in the light a little bit. Yeah, you see that? That's how smooth it is. Looks so good. Smells even better. Let's lie this down so that nobody gets cut. Perfect. Press down. Pull one out of the middle, and this is what it looks like on the inside. Look at that drop swirl. Perfect amount of blue and white up top. I just couldn't be more pleased. These look incredible. Fragrance is really strong on this one. It used to be one of our lighter fragrances, but I kicked it up. I switched some things around. I blended some more things together. Now it's much stronger. And I really think that those of y'all who prefer a more traditionally soapy smell will like this particular blend. I just think it's really, really good. Question of the day: do you enjoy a cold winter or a warmer, more mild winter? Personally, I do enjoy a milder winter, but not the ones that we have in Texas, because those are just, it goes cold and hot, everything dies, so it's all gray. And then you get like 3 or 4 random days where it's below freezing and it's not warm enough to swim. So I'm like, it needs to pick a side. But if I had the chance to have like a super cold winter, I kind of feel like I might want to try it and see if I like it. In general though, I'd probably rather have like Christmas in like somewhere tropical. I'm a warm-blooded person, what can I say? I hope you guys enjoyed today's soap making video. Really quickly, I will tell you the fragrance notes of each of the bars that will be available and the fragrance strength. This is something that a lot of you guys have requested. It's easy to do, and I'll throw it in right now. For the Winter Garden bar that we made today, the strongest fragrance notes are menthol, eucalyptus, and fresh air. I would put this as a stronger fragrance. So if you are very interested in something that is long lasting and that you will be able to smell right out of the package, this is the bar for you. It is very strong. Our chai tea soap has notes of cardamom, rice milk, chai tea, sandalwood, and amber. I would say this is a medium strength soap. You can definitely smell all of those notes in there. It smells really yummy, but it's not super strong. It's got a little bit of spicy because of that cardamom and because of the chai tea in there. If you've ever had a spiced chai, you know what I'm talking about. Siberian fir and eucalyptus is our earthy scent for the month. It is the most complicated in my opinion. I would say the strongest notes are the fresh air, the pine tree, and the cedar. Those are really strong. A little bit of fresh, a little bit of earthy, you know the vibe. This is another medium strength scent. Our gourmand for the month, one of my personal favorites. Vanilla almond and orange smells citrusy, a little bit of almond in there. Very, it's a little bit milky. I will also say I added this much cranberry, this much, just to make it a little more zesty with that citrus, but the almond is really, really coming through. This is another medium as far as fragrance strength is concerned. And finally, our floral, labdanum and peach. For me, top notes, labdanum, peach, rose, and musk. This is not your grandma's floral, and this is one of the stronger fragrances of the month. I don't have super weak fragrances this month. I worked really, really hard to get these to be very, very potent, and they are. Per usual, you can get all 5 of these soaps in our monthly soap sampler pack if you want to try them all before committing to a full-size bar. You can also get all 4 of our low tops in a bundle together that ships free to the United States. We love free shipping when we can do it. Everything available, of course, at royaltysoaps.com tonight at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Now, even if you don't buy anything, thanks for watching this video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Thanks for showing up. You being here allows me to make wholesome and usable art with my husband and family for a living, which I don't take for granted and I'm very grateful for. I hope that you're having a wonderful day. And if you're not, I hope this video, lifts your spirits a little. I am about to go make dinner with Caleb. Aren't we, Caleb? Yes, we are. Yeah. Then we're gonna read a book to our kids next to the Christmas tree, which, by the way, I purposefully leave up until after Valentine's Day. Listen, I suffer from the winter blues, okay? And leaving up that Christmas tree with all the little sparkly lights makes me enjoy winter longer, okay? Winter lasts longer than Christmas season. And where I live, it gets very cold in January and February, and it's always tepid in actual December. So, sue me, I guess. I love a Christmas tree until Valentine's Day. Be sure you do something for yourself today, whether that's leaving up your Christmas tree. That's right. I give you permission. You need just some little sparkles to keep it exciting. Leave up that Christmas tree. Feel no pressure. Or maybe you're one of those people who are like, the clutter is killing me. I've got to get rid of this the day after Christmas is over. Hey, more power to you too. Clean up that house. Whatever floats your boat. You guys know I don't really care what you do. Just do something for you. I'll see you guys in the next video. So until then, bye for now.